Hello everyone and welcome back to another presentation. Today we'll be proving video games don't cause violence. We all know video games, we all play at least one of them at some point in our lives. While some people do enjoy them as a hobby and interest, but after some mass shootings and violent action in the past, both the media and politicians blame for one thing first: video games. And I'm here to disprove that theory. Yes, this might be a controversial topic, and I might not change some parents' mind, but I will still make it, as this is a pretty big problem in our world, and I want to prove to everyone that video games don't cause violence. Let's get right into it. And yes, the video has 4 parts, if you ask me. Part 1. The situations. Donald Trump has said, "We must stop the glorification of violence in our society." This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace, referring to his 11-year-old son. The problem here is that they don't have any convincing evidence to even prove that it is even true at all. The media always believe what politicians say, so they just went overreacting to this topic and spread like how fake news are spreading now. The old generation are most likely to trust the media sayings, so they have even more excuse and reason to ban their children from video games, one of their favorite hobbies. There's a thing called the Goldilocks effect, which makes generations think that they are the best. Adults always think that they're right, while the teenagers think that adults are conservative and biased. Part 2. The scientific studies. Everything in this part has been proved by science to be true, so no things are fake here. In 2004, in a research of the United States Secret Service showed that only 1/8 of mass shooters usually play violent video games. That's only 12.5% of the total. The remaining 87.5% are related with other things. Scientists have shown that violent games don't increase the crime rate. In addition, researchers at York University in England didn't find any evidence which shows that video games make people violent. Over 300 people have participated in the research. The workings of an educational game is related to exposing the player to concepts, including violence, which makes them easier to be used in real life. This is called a bait. Researchers have found that video games don't use baits to make players act in certain ways, and the increase of realism in video games doesn't increase the aggression of the player. A Dutch scholar published a study in April 2017 titled "Video Gaming and Children's Psychosocial Well-Being," a longitudinal study. He has researched with 194 children at 2 time points, each 1 year apart. The result can appease the parents who are always worried because the child spent too much time playing violent games. Gaming at time 1 was associated with increases in emotion problems. Violent gaming was not associated with psychosocial changes. Cooperative gaming was not associated with change in pro-social behavior. Finally, competitive gaming was associated with decreases in pro-social behavior, but only among children who play video games with high frequency. In the conclusion, the author stated, "Video games did not seem to pose harm for most domains of children's psychological development. Parents should be particularly attentive to potential increases in children internalizing problems as a result of video game playing." On the contrary, in 2015, a research conducted by the American Psychological Association showed that there is a link between playing video games and the increase of violent activities of the player. The report stated that the studies show a consistent relationship between the use of violent video games and the increase in aggressive behavior. The perception of aggression influences and decreases in socially favorable behavior. However, there aren't enough evidence to prove it to be true and convincing. Part 3. My opinions. Everything in this part are based from my own opinions about this topic. If you still think that video games make people violent, let me tell you one true fact. The two world wars actually happened before the first video game was even born. Furthermore, there are games that don't even relate to violence, including the ones that some parents might have played in the past. Pac-Man, Tetris, Candy Crush, Mario, Pong, Sonic, etc. Are those games even designed to be violent? No, that's not what the developers actually meant. Those games are meant to be fun and enjoyable, not being violent. Parents just believe in those untrue sayings from the media without trying to do a search on Google to check if they are true or not. Hence, some even ban their children because they try to prove to the parents that they are wrong. Take my classmate K, nickname, as an example. He was caught providing the information for me to do this project, and I was mad about that. These are the children's opinions. Some are actually very important, because parents just ignore them and never listen to the children. They want things the way they are. They don't want to change it. Children want to change the situation, and that's what I want to do with this project. I want parents to change their mind, their action, the emotions, and the way of treating to the children in video games. I want video games to get more respect, not being discriminated against, like now. Part 4. The benefits of video games. If I want to prove one thing, I will prove it to the end. Here, I will show you some benefits of video games. 1. Helps you improve your English. Games that are in English can help you with some new vocabularies and can help you understand sentences in English to complete certain tasks. 2. Increases your image processing capabilities. Video games can train your image processing skills, improve the ability to observe and search objects in the context of distraction, therefore performing visualized tasks better. 3. Increases your concentration. Shooter players can filter disrupting information better while performing tasks that require attention and are less distracted by other visual factors. 4. Improves hand-eye coordination. In an experiment, gamers and non-gamers, including both adults and children, doesn't necessarily be action games incorporated with visuals, are requested to complete a set of tasks about exercising skills that they had never seen before. At first, both sides performed quite similarly, then improved over time, but at the end of the experiment, the gamer team got better results. 5. Increases creativity. Children who play video games tend to be more creative than those who do not play. Doesn't matter what the genre of the game is. The same is true when they use other technologies, such as mobile phones or the internet. 6. Improves multitasking. Children who play video games that require to do many things at once are usually better at multitasking than those who didn't. So that's all I have for this project. To sum up, as I have proved, video games don't cause violence. Parents should change their way of thinking. Politicians and the media should stop overreacting and misunderstanding to video games and focus on other factors that are much bigger and more dangerous than this. Change the situation into a better one and hope we can turn the tide. And thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, post it down in the comments below.